Hi, this is John Lowe from the 2018 30K Challenge. Today I'm going to be going over drawing um, daily levels. This is going to be a daily chart. I'm going to draw daily support and resistance and daily technical lines, that you would use for a swing trade. I'm going to get rid of this stuff down here so you just see a nice clean chart. Um, First lines I like to draw is the daily 100, 200 if they're in the area. These are simple moving averages. If you want, you can draw the 9 exponential moving average on the daily chart, or the 20. The 50 is down here, but okay, I'll draw the 50. Why not? Let's draw the 50 SMA. Okay. All right. Once I have these levels drawn here, then what I do is I look for macro pivots and gap fill lines. A macro pivot will be an area where the price actions come down, it's hit a level and come back up. It's gone down, hit a level and come back up. So the macro pivot right here, what we're watching here, is one's right here, one's right here. Okay, right here and here. You might say this is one here. Okay, right here where the 50 is, that's also, I would say, a macro pivot. So that's definitely a ton of support there. Definitely a ton of support. I'm not going to mark the price, but you'll know that that's a macro pivot along with the 50 SMA and the 100 SMA all next to each other. Okay. Now over here we have a gap fill. See this gap between here and here? So we call that a gap fill. Very easy to recognize. It can be big, they can be small. So that's the gap. So that is also a significant line of support and resistance. Okay. And then, if we want to get really technical, we could probably draw out this macro pivot here. This one here if you wish. I think that one could be one right here. Okay. And let's look back here some more, see what we see here. So definitely we have a macro pivot here, macro pivot here. Okay. And you could even say that right here is a gap fill. Right here and here. So right here is a gap fill. Okay. So anyway, that's how I do it. And here's a major gap fill right here. Huge gap fill. One from there all the way down to here. Okay, and I think there's another one above here too. See, so these are later on in the future. These are huge windows of profit that SailGen will sort of flow through. I'm gonna get rid of these two. This is sort of a small gap fill. So it gapped down, it tried to fill the line, it rejected here and went back down, especially after it hit the 50 SMA and just got pushed down. Retested it once and went back down here. So anyway, that is what we're looking at. So if you can see right now, SailGen has a ton of choppiness going through here for a bit. And you can see that just through the price action here. Macro pivot, macro pivot. This really may not be a macro pivot. I mean, if you blow it up big enough, of course it looks like a major spot, but we can eliminate that one. That might be a macro pivot. This one could be a macro pivot possibly. Okay, that one is definitely a macro pivot for sure. All right, so anyway, I hope this makes sense. And in terms of trying to trade this mess, really the trade to be had on Celgen in the future is when it starts getting above 100. The real trade, I think, is going to be through this area here. So, above the 200 with a 9 EMA pushing over, and then it getting over 96, and then eventually over 100. And definitely 100 is a macro pivot for sure. It's not an actual line, but because it is the century mark, we're going to mark it as a macro pivot for sure, because guarantee you there's going to be some buying and selling right at the $100 level here. Okay, so anyway, this Celgen is not going to be ready to be traded until right around over here somewhere. Should break up, break down, and then break up. So right around here is where I will possibly take a trade, a swing trade long. Anyway, hope this makes sense. Hope this helps out. These are all the lines, how we got them and how we labeled them. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Other than that, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.